In the world of art, perfection is often seen as the ultimate goal. But the fact is that that mindset cannot be any further from the truth. Imagine you've just spent hours on a painting wondering, this one's gonna be great. You think, this is it. Then you take a step back and you look at it and it's absolute crap, just like the last 10 you made. I think we've all been there at one point or another, feeling like everything we produce is subpar trash. Maybe there'll be one or two pieces in there that you actually kind of like, but they're not quite still good. You might think you're doing something wrong, or there's probably something wrong with you, because if everything you make is trash, then you might just be horribly untalented, right? You're not. That feeling of not being happy with the majority of what we create is something I can say with near complete confidence that all great artists have gone through. If you don't feel that way, then something is probably wrong. I'll explain. Drawing is like any other skill. It gets better with time, practice, and mileage. It might seem like you're stuck in one spot, but if you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, you'll see that the curve only goes up. Let's use cooking as an example here. You remember how the first time you cook a complicated dish is usually kind of disappointing. Even though you followed the recipe closely, you still got some of the measurements wrong. Maybe you cooked it for too long or too little, or maybe you even added way too much spices. Now you set out to try again, and this time you added the adequate amount of spices, but only this time the food was severely undercooked. Maybe after a few more tries, you realize that your oven is a completely different type from the one in the video, so this time you reduced the temperature adequately and it came out better. You did this a few more times on different days, and now you've mastered the dish with just the right balance of spices. And now after a dozen times, you can even make it faster and even better. Now you don't even have to follow the recipe anymore. Now replace the dish with a portrait and multiply the number of attempts by 100. You now have drawing in a nutshell. There's a very common saying that before you're able to create a good drawing, you'll probably have to create 100, 1,000, or even 10,000 bad ones. Doing that with some adjustments every time is completely and utterly true. To put it simply, drawing is incredibly difficult. You need to balance so many principles and at the same time still create an image that's appealing and tells a story. That isn't something that's learned in a week, a month, or even a year. This takes decades to truly master.